Are you looking for the highlight during the pre-Christmas season? How about making venison loin? Sounds complicated. It might be. I'll show you the quickest recipe of all. Super easy. Welcome to Callekocht's action. Right now, please. Oh, that's delicious. And these are the most beautiful pieces of the venison loin. And it's from the upper part, the long ribs. And you can already see, venison doesn't have any fat anyway, and just a very light skin. And it's so thin, you really shouldn't even think about cutting it off. This is premium quality. For that, we want to make a quick apple cream sauce. For that, I have a bit of maple syrup, 2 tart apples, that's a Elster, 2 small onions, a bit of gingerbread spice, and of course, a little cream. First, we're going to season our venison loin fillet with salt and a bit of pepper. Although we all know that salt isn't a spice, but a mineral. But that's just how it's said. So season both sides with pepper and salt. What we need is a really nice hot pan. And now we put our venison loin fillet in there and sear it quickly. One side. Before we turn it, we're going to cook it slowly in the oven using the low temperature method. That really just means sear it quickly. So after 2 minutes, let's take a look. Aha, a bit of color is enough. Ah yes, you can see it even more clearly here. That's enough for searing. On the other side, just the same, it's a real beauty. So that's enough. We're taking our venison loin crown, that's what this piece is called, out again. And the best part, the best news for you is meat here on the plate can cool down a bit. In other words, you can definitely do the searing ahead of time before your guests arrive, because now we want to focus on the sauce. For that, we'll move the pan aside for a moment, but we can already add our maple syrup because we want to use the remaining heat. It can caramelize a bit, and in the meantime, I'm going to chop my onion into fine cubes. And of course, this works wonderfully with my chef's knife from Solingen, from the good house of Heso, Rookie Zuki. Best quality. This is how chopping onions is actually fun. And now we're adding the onions into our caramelized maple syrup and letting them melt a bit. At this point, we can start seasoning. Please remember, we're not seasoning the onions right now, but we're going to season our sauce instead. That's why I'm adding a bit more pepper and a little more salt. The onions are already cooked. And we're also taking the roasting bits from our venison loin out of the pan. And when it looks translucent like that, we'll push it aside for a second because we want to take care of the apples. We want to cut the apples into wedges, and first I want to remove the core. Got it. Then we peel the apple. And now I can cut my peeled apples, so I've already cored them into nice wedges. This is definitely faster than coring each individual quarter. And we're not cutting our apple pieces too small because they're going into the pan and we don't want them to overcook. And now we can put our venison loin in the oven. And we just imagine the guests have their appetizer now. 2001. The side dishes are ready, and now we're going to insert our needle at the thickest part near the bones. And I have the oven set to just 90 degrees because we already have the roasting flavors. And we want our venison loin to reach an internal temperature of 57 degrees. It's already at 40 degrees, that's from the searing. We're doing this on convection, and the core thermometer will let us know when it's ready. When that's ready, we can finalize the sauce now. Now we're adding apple pieces to our caramelized onions. And we're going to saute them at a relatively high temperature for a bit so they get some color too. Please don't make applesauce out of this, just saute them a little so the color has developed. The apples have also taken on a slight caramel note, and we're going to enhance the whole thing. Just a tiny bit of our gingerbread spice. Really just a little. I know there are people out there who don't like cinnamon. Just leave it out. I'm standing over it and it smells common, doesn't it? It really does smell like Christmas automatically. Yummy, yummy. So, Before the apples are completely melted, we're going to deglaze everything with our cream. And please don't be alarmed. That's for 4 people, half a liter, and it's going to reduce down to almost half now. And that's also the solution to the riddle. No flour, no starch. We're letting the cream reduce until it, Carmen, now it's your turn. It thickened on its own, just like us. Just like some of us. Just let it reduce. Cool, right? So, 6-9, any moment now. Little controller should ring here. That's how it is. It did its job. The meat is being monitored. Now let's take a look inside. Ah, it smells good. That looks delicious. Quick, get it out. That looks super delicious. And a little tip, Yusan, for all the Christmas cooks. If there's a bit of meat juice here, I think you can see it pretty well. The meat is always medium. Actually, you don't need a core thermometer. It looks the same there. Let's plate it up. Then we'll put one of the racks on the plate hole. And we'll cut the other one so you can see how it turned out. And now we're going to cut right between these bones. Look, it's pink, not dry, cooked just right. That's how venison loin should be, really nice and juicy. And we're going to plate that up here too. Venison loin fillet cooked in a low temperature method. Then apple cream sauce. Perfect food for Christmas. I get to try a tiny piece because we're having the rest by candlelight tonight. Isn't that right, Carmen? Super tender. Apple is not overcooked, but cooked. That slight sweet and sour flavor from the apple in the cream sauce with that tender game taste. Great. Really, really good. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Carmen is calling you. Bye, see you soon, and best wishes from Hamburg. Your Kalle. Bye.